Deuces to everybody. This is going to be a short video, even though it's got a lot of content in it. Shout out to everybody from the Caribbean, from Trinidad and Tobago. My mom's right now having a Bible study with some brothers and sisters from her church. I got to go out there in a minute, as well as take care of the refreshments. But I want to talk quickly about praying and receiving, boxing updates, and also some boxing channels. So let's get to it really quickly. Shout out to everybody out there. It's 10:22 a.m. where I live. You guys can also support this channel if you so wish by just hitting me up, and I'll tell you guys where you can pay. It's usually Western Union or MoneyGram. Okay, let's get into it. So praying and receiving. I already talked about this. This was Matthew 21, verses 18 and onwards, where it says that Jesus cursed the fig tree and the fig tree dried up. And the disciples were so stunned by that they were in awe. And Jesus turned to them and said, truly, if you have faith, that you don't doubt. You see, the opposite of faith is doubt. The opposite of belief is non-belief, right? It's doubt. It's narcissism, all right? Faith or belief is what drives people to do things. Take, for instance, you woke up this morning and you never doubted that you would wake up the next day. It was never in your mind. You believed it was a given. You were going to wake up the next morning. In fact, you planned what you were going to do the next day, right? And that's faith. And faith's powerful because once you believe that this is a certainty, then you start to act on that certainty. Let me give you another one. Most people don't think that an earthquake or something's going to hit their country. They assume the next day is going to be the same as the day before, weather-wise, etc. We assume that. We have so much confidence in faith. It's not about struggling or fighting to think about that. There's no doubts in your mind. It's just that's what it is. So God's saying similarly, if you ask God for something and you have to have that measure of faith, well, you already know it's done already. So you move on acting on that, you know. And you're able to tell anyone this because you have the faith to believe, oh, that's a done deal, right? So that's the kind of faith that Jesus is talking about. It's, a lot of people think you have to work yourself up in a frenzy and stuff. Faith's not like that. It's just whether you believe it. You believe it. You believe it. Then you just act on that. That's why they say faith without works is dead. You have to act on that faith. You believe something, you act on it, right? And that leads us to boxing. But before we do, as I said before, we are a body. Those people who are believers in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, his death is what allows us to be in the spiritual body. And right now outside there's pieces of the spiritual body that came together and talking, but the body's bigger than that. And you see that, you know, in dreams and so on, Paul gets contact with other members of the body who beckon him here and there. So when you get closer to God and as you get more in tune with his body, you will begin to get more supernatural things that happen. People contact you supernaturally. People pray for you and stuff. I can tell you a whole bunch of stuff. Your prayers are very supernatural. Things start to happen. There's no reason or logic to it. It just happens. And so I'll tell any one of you guys, when you pray to God, when you rely on him, when you trust in him, really wonderful things happen. So that's why, you know, the song Trust and Obey. I like to say trust, obey, yeah. But in addition, there's many different options you have available to you. You know, people always feel you're in bondage when you're in Christ. No, actually, you have a variety of things you can do. Like right now, I'm talking on a boxing channel. Yeah, I'm in Christ. So there's a wealth of things I can do. You know, much more than, and you're free from the burdens of sin and things that keep you back, doubt and fear. Fear is also sinful and all that. Oh, and hate, you know, those things keep us back from really moving forward by the Spirit without fear and everything in love. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And there will be ups and downs. The enemy will test your faith and all of that. But at the end of the day, if you believe God, you got to just believe God. This is what his word says. His word, let me read the word again. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? If you have faith and doubt and don't doubt, you shall not only do what is done to the fig tree, but you will say to a mountain, be you removed and cast into the sea, and it will be done. Now, that's hard for us to conceive or even believe that we could do something like that, right? What do you mean? Just tell that mountain that it'll go into the sea. But it don't take much. It's just like how it didn't take much for you to think you would wake up this morning. You never doubted that. In fact, that was a done deal as far as you were concerned, right? My door just opened suddenly. All kinds of weird things happen sometimes. Yeah. So it's a done deal, and that's the same thing in faith. Now, what we're going to see with Tony Bellew versus Alexander Usyk is two guys who have confidence in themselves. Bellew is saying it with a lot of passion and force that, you know, he's going to beat Usyk. And you may believe it, you know, and there may be various reasons. But truly, someone who truly believes something, they don't need to convince anyone of it. It's not contingent on convincing anyone. For them, it's just the reality, and they're acting on it. So that's the way how it has to be. All right. But it's interesting seeing one guy try to convince you. Sometimes people try to convince you. You know, the enemy tries to convince us that what we pray for is not realistic or it's not real. But that's not the way how it goes, you know. And the battle, the more we get more grounded in faith, is the less we have to fight. But of course, sometimes it's a struggle because you're battling with the flesh. You're battling with, well, this is what usually happens. This is what happens in the world and stuff. And you go back into the carnal state instead of really relying on God. And it's not easy. I'm telling you, in the earlies, you vacillate sometimes in between the two. I know I do. And that's okay because God's got you. You're a member of his body. So I wanted to share that with you guys before we get into the boxing updates. And I got a couple of them. If you guys are already on there, all right, leave your comments right in the comment section so I can know you are there, and we get to it. We get to it. We get a little busy with you. I see somebody already liked my video and is watching it. Shout out. Who are you that did that? Shout out to you. Let me know who you are, man. Leave a little comment or something so I know that you're there. All right, so let me get into it. Let me get into it real quick because I don't have much time with this video. So one of the things that happened yesterday on the Contender, the finals of the Contender came out, and Brandon Adams, who was on another competition, I can't remember what the competition name was. Excuse me. But he, Brandon Adams beat Shane Mosley over the weekend. Shane Mosley Jr., of course. All right, he beat Shane Mosley Jr. It was for middleweight. It was the middleweight championship, and Mosley Jr. had made it to the finals. And he fought Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams had gone to the finals of the Boxino tournament. That's where I last saw him. That was in 2015. He was in the Boxino tournament. He got knocked out by John Thompson, who really connected really well, and beat him up. And, you know, the thing about it was that Brandon Adams is really tenacious, and I love his style. And he went up against Shane Mosley Jr. and he was able to beat him. And so I guess that's it for the Contender tournament. That's the last fight. And he's probably won the Contender, which is really awesome for him. So I'm happy for him. Brandon Adams, you should check him out. He's the shortest guy, 5'8", 70-inch reach. John Thompson's like 5'11" or 6 feet or something like that. So he did well. He did very, very well. And congratulations to him on that. You know, so I just wanted to pay attention to that. The other one is Sullivan Barrera won his fight against Sean Monaghan. So Barrera came back in action over the week, over last week, I think it was. I didn't talk about that. He was able to beat him. This is after he had gotten KO'd in the 12th round by Dimitri Bivol. He managed to do well this time around. And then Victor Postol got his win. He beat C.R. Uzgal. So after he was beaten by Josh Taylor, he faced C.R. Uzgal, and he was able to defeat him the same day with Sullivan Barrera's fight against Monaghan. Okay. So I just wanted to give you some updates on those fights because, you know, I've forgotten to talk about those fights. And I thought those were names some of you guys know. And so I wanted to just bring it up. Okay, so now we got 3 people who like, 2 people watching. Awesome. So that's the fights. Of course, the upcoming fight is Alexander Usyk versus Tony Bellew. We just talked about that a little bit. Also on the side, we got Maris Bredis, who's also from. He's also a. Uh, he's also cruiserweight. Okay, he had faced Alexander Usyk in the Super Six. And he's going to be facing a guy called Noel Jeever. And also we have Corolla versus Jordan, and Krzysztof Glowacki in Chicago versus Maxim Vlasov. Okay. We also have Tomoki Kameda, who's going to be fighting on Monday. He's going back into the ring against Abigail Medina. All right. So there's all of that going on. I just wanted to just bring your attention to some of these fights. Now, in terms of boxing channels and where I get my information on boxing, I want to just refer to you guys again, once again, to a number of channels really, which are really good when it comes to boxing. I really appreciate them, especially for learning boxing. Okay, so we start off with Troy Killer Entertainment. Troy Killer Entertainment. He's good. He really talks about fights really well. We also have Master Boxing. You should check that out. Master Boxing. Eric Bradley's Master Boxing. That's a good channel for knowing about boxing. Then you've got Capital of Combat. Now, they're not really about boxing alone. They're about MMA, kickboxing, whatever. I like their little breakdowns. You know, they're not, I don't agree with them 100%, and sometimes they're a little bit superficial, but I think they sometimes go into nitty-gritty details, which really you appreciate. So check out Capital of Combat. Shout out to them. You also have Precision Striking. Precision Striking gives you little tips on different things you can do in boxing. I like their channel. That's a good channel. Another channel that is really good, or at least I appreciate it, is the Boxing Strategist. Boxing Strategist. You should check out that channel. All of these people deal mostly with boxing. Wilson Kiten, when he used to be around, was good as well in breaking down certain aspects of fighting. We also have Uma Fight Camp. I don't really watch Uma Fight Camp that often anymore, but they give little details, little things that I thought were interesting concerning boxing, so you can check that out. And let me show you some other good boxing channels. Train to Perfection. I don't know if they still running videos, but they give you some really good educational tips on boxing as well. Yeah, so I think that's basically it. The other ones, they discuss different things or they cover certain things, but they're not really talking. Big Will's Gym also does, you know, one or two little tips and stuff. Of course, Fran Sands, very good channel. You should check out Fran Sands, FRANSANDS. Really good, and he really is very specific in how he breaks those things down. Mosley Boxing's all right. It's all right, but not really deep. Moreno Boxing's pretty good as well in terms of teaching one or two things which I think are useful. And of course, Horsepower Demon X gave one or two videos on the jab, which I thought were worth the while for you guys to know about. So those are the channels that I would recommend some of you guys to check out. Now there are other channels I mess around with, like Fight Hype. Definitely mess around with Fight Hype. Sometimes I look at the Boxing Voice. ES News is very popular, so sure. Showtime Sports, Boxing Ego, Fight Hub. Of course, Beating the Odds with Beeb. Like I said, Beeb, so you know if you want to call yourself a celebrity or not. I'm always checking out your channel and stuff. I haven't done it in a while. Behind the Gloves with Michelle Phelps. She's really dope. I like her professionalism, her drive, how she moves, and she really covers stuff, man. Boxing Wave with I forgot what his name is. Sits down in the chair and comments on fights. I listen to some of his stuff. Dante's Boxing Nation, Mayweather Boxing Club, and Mayweather Promotions. Premier Boxing Champions, Akai TV, 78 Sports TV, Concrete Jungle, Hustle Boss, GMS, Naquam, Boxing Legends, The Ring, T Street Controversy, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, D Style Boxing, Mike Rashad, um, The Boxing Channel, EJ Boxing Live, Coach Shelton Harris, Combat, Pro Boxing Insider, Rummy's Corner, Bring Up the Rain Boxing Talk, Bang Bang Bang, Boxing Fight Critic, Boxing Fan 333, Giving Quality for Life, Giving Quality for Life. Shout out to you. Yeah, shout out to you. Undisputed Edits, Gambino, Sammy the Bull, Mr. Natty Turner 1. I haven't talked to you, Mr. Natty Turner. I don't know what's going on with you, man. That'd be cool. Fight Viz, G Funky 84 Boxing, Lee Thornton, Kevin Davis, who is also known as Carcino, Daryl Too Sweet Coley, who was a boxer and now he's a coach, Heavy Hands, Dan Parks, who does Al Bernstein stuff, and Igorot Warrior, who covers all kinds of boxing, Mike Tyson, Boxing Counter, PB Insider videos, Raw Boxing TV, NW Boxing 247. I haven't really messed with you, bro, but you've been doing some good videos. I don't know what you're doing these days. Killshot Z, Boricua Boxing, Miss Boxing Baby, NBT Boxing. Shout out to you, bro. Hope everything's going well with you. We got also Office Huncho Boxing, Loso, Mr. Boxing Today, Thomas Santos 93, Carrie Williams. Carrie Williams is the female coach trainer. The Real Devin Haney, Klitschko official. I still mess with the Klitschkos. Hard work and dedication. Daniel Reed Boxing. Ray Nephew for the Caribbean boxing that happens in the Caribbean. KB Live, KBC Live, Lace Up Promotions, Showtime, Sean Porter. I mess with Showtime, Sean Porter any day of the week. Lee Wiley Boxing, Maestro Boxing, M&M Thriller, Expert Boxing, SM Boxing, SBM Boxing, Truth in His Word. Truth in His Word, sometimes drop it down nice. Not always. Boxing Hall of Fame, Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I haven't been with you guys in a while. Love to get in one of your feeds. Circuit 42, Big Willis Gym, Legendary Boxing, Boxing Expo, Omar Navarro, Gary Henderson, who used to break down fights. I don't know what he's doing these days. Entity One Combat, the COO3 Disc 1. CO3 Disc 1 usually is, I don't know why I had him as a World Boxing Company, Stop Lying, Truth and Facts, MC Stroke a Vision. MC Stroke a Vision makes me laugh. And that's basically it. So, those are my channels that I subscribe to. And I'll try to follow through with them, almost all of them, watch to see what they're doing. There was another one, 68 Sports. I think 68 Sports or something like that. I don't know what happened with him. He used to be changing his name with a drop of a dime at a certain point. I don't know what he's doing these days, but Tommy Temper, can you put the channels in the Tex Hansen T Street? Okay. See if I can type them out for you. Hold on a second. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on. Okay. Hold on a second. I'll put up some of them. I'm not gonna put up all of them, right? I'll put up some for you, man. Hold on a second. Let me get it. These are some that you really want to check these out if you want to learn about boxing. Okay. So if you want to learn about boxing, these are the ones that I'm gonna hit you with one time. All right. So if you want to learn about boxing, we got Master of Boxing. Check that out. Check that out on YouTube, Master of Boxing. Check out, because they really got good tips on boxing. Another one that's really good is Troy Killertainment. Troy Killertainment. He break down fights. So Troy Killertainment knows what he's talking about. All right. Troy Killertainment King. He really knows what he's talking about. Dude is a southpaw. Boxing Ego used to interview him. He knows his stuff. Okay. So check him out, his channel. And then we got let's see what else we got here. Capital of Combat. Now this is not so much boxing. They break down fights as well, but there's some really important information you can get in there, and they're really pretty good. So I would suggest that you check out Capital of Combat. That's a good channel. All right, Capital of Combat. I'm gonna put that in there. Okay. Okay. And then, hold on a second. I'm looking for, first of all, I'm giving you channels that you would like know that you can learn about boxing with. Precision striking. Precision striking actually teaches you how to do certain things in boxing, okay? And things you may have a problem with and so on. They're really good at that. Precision striking. That's another good channel to check out. These are really good channels. They can't go into a lot of detail, but you know, they're really good channels. And then let's see here, hold on. Wilson Kiden was good as well, but I'm not gonna put him in there. Train to Perfection. Train to Perfection. Carrie Williams to a lesser extent. Fran Sands for sure. Fran Sands is good. He's really good. And then Moreno Boxing. All of those guys. Those are really good channels. You should really check them out. Right? And these guys teach boxing. I'll give you little tips online. Of course, you could join up to their website or join up to their group, you know, and actually really do some more stuff. But these guys teach boxing, and that's where you kind of begin to understand boxing better. There's the fundamentals of boxing, but you have to look at the boxing for what it is. You have to understand the boxing for what it is. And I think a lot of people don't understand what boxing is. A lot of people think boxing is all about power and overpowering your opponent and just beating your opponent down. It doesn't always work that way. There's a lot of various things. Carrie Williams is also another person that I just linked you guys up to. That's a good amount right there. So you got Master Boxing, Troy Killertainment King, Capital of Combat, Precision Striking, Train to Perfection, Fran Sands, Moreno Boxing, and Carrie Williams. There's a couple others I got, but these are some of the channels I actually mess with. And as I said before, you have to understand boxing is a lot more than meets the eye. You know, there's a lot of understanding to boxing than just superficial stuff. So when I look for entertainment now, those are the channels I use to like look at boxing itself. But then if I'm looking at something that I want to be entertained with, like entertainment or news on boxing and stuff like that, okay, I go to these channels. And then again, of course, oh, I forgot this one. This one's a good channel too. Northwest Boxing 24/7. Northwest Boxing 24/7 is entertaining. So you're looking at entertainment. I like this channel. Northwest Boxing 24/7. Go to that. I go to Fight Hype. So you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me up in Fight Hype for news. These are the news channels I check out. So you'll see me checking out Fight Hype, The Boxing Voice, ES News, Boxing Ego, Fight Hub TV, Behind the Gloves, Dante's Boxing Nation. All of these channels I mess with for the news, right? So, and then if I want entertainment, if it's not just news, but I want entertainment, Dante's Boxing Nation, and they break it down like that. You got Boxing Ego, you got what's his name? I forgot his name. But for news, Behind the Gloves, they don't give their opinions necessarily. Fight Hub TV, Fight Hype, The Boxing Voice, when they're not doing their arguments or whatever. ES News, Ellie does have his opinions on things. They kind of report the news, you know what I mean? But if you want commentary on that, if you want kind of journalism or kind of commentary on things, then we're talking Dante's Boxing Nation, Beating the Odds with Beeb, Boxing Wave, sometimes Concrete Jungle, T Street Controversy, D Style Boxing. Those kind of guys give their opinions on things. Coach Shelton Harris, Combat, that kind of thing. So different people have their different comments on different things. Me personally, I don't like to just comment on things. I like to have facts, some kind of information before I talk about something. Like the latest Mayweather stuff, I still see people talking about it, but once again, they're trying to bash Mayweather. And I'm like, if he's done something stupid, you don't defend him. But I mean, at the same time, you can't bash this dude. The dude went in expecting one thing and he ended up with something else. I was actually on Fight Hype. They had a little something going on. And okay, thank you for all 4 of you for liking this video. Yeah, and a whole bunch of them had their opinions on things. And I was like, you know what, man? Different people gonna have their different opinions and stuff. So yeah. It was just interesting seeing them coming to conclusion about his stuff. And when we find out about the inner workings and the stuff that Risen actually gave Mayweather's team that was there, it shows that they wanted something extra from Mayweather. They wanted him to have 2 other fights. They wanted, some of the coverage rights and so on. They were trying to get rights from an American company through Mayweather. So Mayweather went down there thinking he was going to do an exhibition match, one-off exhibition match. They wanted him to commit to more than 1 exhibition matches, and they wanted actually this thing broadcast, telecast rights. So they were trying to get something out of it for the money they were putting out to Floyd. And I guess this is where somebody who was critiquing Floyd was saying, hey, look, man, Floyd, you should have known better. You ain't going to go to no exhibition match for $80 million or somewhere thereabouts, $80 to $90 million, and I expect them to want something back for it, So, yeah, so that's basically what it was. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that a lot of people discredited him for what he said, when in fact what he said made sense, and what he said was actually true. I already had this discussion, so I'm not going to talk that. So, guys, that's basically it for me. Tommy Temper, it's nice to see you. T Street Controversy Live. They do their thing as well. I don't really watch T Street Controversy all the time. In fact, I very rarely watch T Street Controversy. Every now and then I do. I have him as a subscriber, so I have a bunch of people who are subscribers on there, and some of them I watch regularly, some of them I don't. It depends on how prolific they are. For instance, when I go to my subscriptions, like I click subscriptions right now, Coach Shelton Harris is right now talking about the LDMMAC weight bullies, double standards, and passes given to liked fighters who miss weight. So apparently he's talking about fighters who miss weight. And then D Street Controversy Live is right. Well, he was, at least a couple minutes ago, 16 minutes ago, He was talking about why Mayweather ducked tension and Ryzen 14 scammed. Was Halen cut out of the deal? Floyd not broke, but and so he's into that right there. And then he talked about Wilder versus Fury official undercard preview. The undercard seems to be Luis Ortiz versus Huffman, Jarrett Hurd versus Wellborn. I don't know who that guy is. And some guy Joyce versus some guy Hanks. I can tell you watching Hurd fight would be interesting, and Ortiz. The problem with that undercard is, you would prefer to have seen Ortiz face somebody much more, competitive. But then again, he's coming off of, what is Ortiz coming off of? I think a knockout loss or something, if I'm not right. King Kong Ortiz. Let me see. That should be a box right here. Luis Ortiz. I think King Kong got knocked out by Wilder, right? Oh, no. Actually, he had another fight before that. Okay. So he faced some guy named Razvan Kojanu, knocked him out, and then he's now facing Travis Huffman. The other guy had 19 fights. He knocked him out. Huffman's a lot more experienced. The result could be the same, but still, nonetheless. And Deontay Wilder fought a slick southpaw in Ortiz, who got power and actually stopped his opponent before that. What people forget is Luis Ortiz actually beat Malik Scott by outboxing him. Knocked out Tony Thompson, not that was much, but he also stopped Brian Jennings, who was a very good fighter as well, on the up and up. And Brian Jennings, I haven't heard much from Brian Jennings since 2015, but nonetheless, I'm sure he's busy doing something. So Luis Ortiz showed that he can handle some guys who are pretty good fighters. And so when he faced Wilder, nobody wanted to face Ortiz. When he faced Wilder, Wilder actually ended up stopping him, which was impressive. That's why I said, if you keep thinking that Deontay Wilder isn't a good boxer, even though he has a bronze medal from the Olympics, just because he may not have an extensive amateur pedigree, doesn't mean that Wilder can't box. You look at his jab, you look at how Wilder sets up his jabs, even the nuances, the things, how he swivels, how he moves forward, moves backward. He's a little sloppy, but he's a big heavyweight, so you expect him to be a bit sloppy. And for a big heavyweight, he's very agile, very nimble, very quick, very athletic, and has really decent boxing skill. All right, we know he gets a right hand crazy and kind of wildish when he's just trying to put away a guy. He's just kind of very wild at that point in time. There's showmanship and stuff. He could get, he could get hurt if he doesn't watch himself. But other than that, he fights pretty good. He fights in control. He shoots his shots straight. He doesn't really loop them a lot. So yeah, I'm just saying, Luis Ortiz, he's going to be facing a guy called Travis Kaufman. I think I've seen this guy before. I just can't remember. I've seen that name. That name is very familiar. Let's see where do we know Travis Kaufman from? I've seen him fight somewhere, haven't I? Amir Mansour. Okay. I knew I saw him face somebody. Okay. Yeah, he faced Amir Mansour. Okay. I don't even know what happened to Amir Mansour. I haven't heard anything about Amir Mansour after that fight with Errol Washington. So I don't know what went on with that. Amir Mansour is not the tallest heavyweight out there. He's got a good amount of age. Woo, Philip H.R. Govic knocked him out. Dominic Brazil retired him. Oh, he got old, I guess. He lost to Steve Cunningham as well? Wow. I didn't know that happened. He drew Gerald Washington. Wow. Well, anyway, Amir Mansour. I can't even believe Dominic Brazil was able to stop him. I remember that fight. I think I remember that fight with Dominic Brazil. Amir Mansour. Yeah. Well, here's what it is. Anyway, I think that Luis Ortiz was able to so Travis Kaufman had faced Amir Mansour. Okay, cool. No, I'd seen that guy before. So anyway, Luis Ortiz, that's part of the undercard there. And then Hurd versus Wellborn. I don't think I want to see that. I want to see Hurd versus Charlo. But I know that wasn't going to happen because Charlo and they're fighting at the end of the year, not for this fight. So that's what it is. But I was thinking Hurd could face somebody like Austin Trout or something. No, he faced Trout already. Just remember. Okay. Cool. Then we have Concrete Jungle talking about Saul Canelo Alvarez and how he's looking. A lot of Concrete Jungle stuff, Fight Hub TV. So you can see Fight Hub, Concrete Jungle, ES News. ES News puts out a lot of stuff. You know, ES News put out a lot of stuff. Ellie Seckback just be outworking everybody. Yeah, a little Boxing Ego, a little bit of Fight Hub TV. Oh, they're thinking of maybe Golovkin facing Ramirez? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Hustle Boss is talking to Marcus Willis. yeah, guys. So that's basically it. I got to get out of here though. So blessings, peace to you guys. I'm out. I was just looking at a guy who sparred both Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, and he was saying that if Errol Spence comes up against Keith Thurman will beat him because Keith got this awkward kind of slickness to him, whereas Errol is more straight up and down, very technical, but straight up and down. I don't know if Errol's that straight up and down as people are making it out to be. Errol's got skills. I've seen his skills, but it's just I think that a lot of people out here are Errol hasn't had to use some of those skills that he has. So hopefully against Mikey Garcia, we'll see some more of Errol. Errol step up his game because Mikey going to push Errol to do some other things that he wouldn't normally do. And the Mikey will be quicker as well. But Mikey himself is kind of textbook. He's kind of straightforward, technical, straightforward kind of dude. So the thing that gets Errol, what makes Errol so good is he's strong. He's got his peak physical condition. And basically his conditioning is ridiculous. So I think that's what really gets Errol the edge. I mean, he does find the openings. If you just stay frozen there, he'll just bang on you all day. But if you can give him different looks, different angles, you know, change it up a bit, not stand directly in front of him, but you come in off of different angles, the special effects kind of thing, it really makes it for an interesting fight because now he has to find he has to pull other tricks from his bag to be able to adapt to you. So it's all about adaptation. And you know, at present he looks basic. He's just chopping them guys down, man down, and that's it, right? Because the guys in there would freeze up in front of him and he just bang on them. If it's on the ropes or if they're in the center of the ring, they can freeze up on him, he catch him with a shot, freeze them up, and then he just goes to work. But I do believe that if Errol, you know, the thing with Errol is you have to push him to do something. I think like a guy like Sean Porter would really definitely push him because Sean Porter would not give him the time of day. He would smother him. He would try to get up in his face. If Errol could pop him with the jab, great. But, you know, I think Porter's got these unpredictable kind of jabbing stuff that goes on. He's changed up his game so much. And I think Porter could take Errol's punch. I think most guys can take Errol's punch to begin with. But then over time, he can break you down. I would like to see if he could break down Porter. That would be interesting. I don't think so. I think Porter gives him all he can handle for 12 rounds because Porter swarms you and he continuously does all these different and new things. So, but Errol's, again, like I said before, he knows how to use his range, use his jab pretty well and stuff like that. I just don't think Errol uses a lot of feints. There's not a lot of feinting going on. And I always believe that, you know, that's the difference between a Floyd and all these other guys. They give you different looks and they give you different feints and they give you different. There's always something different that they're doing. But you get the same old with Errol. And most of these younger fighters, they're very athletic, but they're not, you know, the ins and outs and the subtleties of boxing, you don't really see that. So that's what it is. Anywho's, guys, man, have a good day. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I got to bounce. Peace. And remember, faith, man.